Today is Tuesday, May the 13th, and got a bit of a busy day ahead of me today. Just in keeping with the format of what I'm doing here, looking to start a business in the US, spend some time in Spain, build a great business here in Canada that doesn't require my meddling every day. So I'm on this path right now to really strengthen in the next, what are we, June, July, August, in the next 90 days, really strengthen our team here in Calgary, take seriously the job that I have as the entrepreneur and the business owner to make sure the right people are in the right spots, doing the right jobs. And today wanted to, well, first of all, the premier of our province, which is, if you're an American watching this, is like your governor, indicated she's going to be pushing back against some federal policies regarding carbon tax. So that's created a bit of a brouhaha this morning, or today, or this week in our political landscape, to which I just smile and nod because I think Canada's going down a road that's going to take a long time to get to the end of, and it's just going to be really hard to like grind through the decline as we go. So anyway, there's my little political rant. I said I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about that going forward. I really want to talk about like the meat and potatoes of what I'm doing. And so today I want to talk about AI, how I've been using it in our business. It was about a year ago, I think it was about a year ago, where I decided I would take our project management system, which at the time was Buildertrend, and build our own system. And with AI, I was able to successfully implement something very, very quickly. The time clock functionality, in particular, of both our on-staff field workers, site supervisors, as well as our outsourced labor. So did that really quickly, then got purchase orders working really quickly because we move a lot of business through expenses. And so anyway, full year later, we've fully transitioned onto a system that now we own. And artificial intelligence was able to help me, a hack programmer. I've been programming since the late 90s. I have quite a bit of database knowledge. And I've built all sorts of different web-based applications, not handheld like iPhone apps, but I've done tons and tons of stuff on the web. And so this was kind of in my wheelhouse. I enjoy as a hobby programming. I like putting on music and just kind of going to town and figuring it out. So anyway, we have this system and it's really great. But in the process of doing that, we were able to unlock a whole bunch of other value that I couldn't have even imagined was possible. One of them was so for example, I have a philosophy that the builder trend was basically just a big Excel spreadsheet, and there was an interface on the web that allowed us to access our data. But because builder trend has to appeal to so many businesses, they build a very big, robust system that can kind of handle most of the majority cases of what contractors like us want, but can't handle the fringe cases, which is where we really get to compete and shine. And so moving to our own platform meant now we own our data. We have it sitting on our own servers. And through both ChatGPT and Claude, I was able to build a front end that allows our team to access it the way we want to access it. And I've always had this thing where businesses should know their business processes and then find software that accommodates their business process. One of the biggest mistakes small businesses make, in my experience, because I've been doing this for a long time, is you build your business around the software. And then what happens is software gets better, it gets faster, it gets cheaper, all those sorts of things. And your business can't respond quickly enough because your business isn't software, your business is people, and people develop habits. Those habits lead to doing things a certain way. And then when software changes, now your team's all out of sorts. In fact, a good friend of mine's in the middle of a software transition right now. And even though he acknowledges what I just said is true, he doesn't have another choice because he's not a programmer and he's not prepared to basically prepay a bunch of money to build something customized to their business because then he doesn't know how it's going to be supported. But what's interesting is in 2025, all of the front end. So if you have your data as a business owner, you own your contacts, you own your customers, you own your vendors, you own your transactions. If you have all that data sitting in your own silo, in your own database, building a front end today is like nothing. It's not like it was even 3 years ago, where if a programmer built something for you, they were kind of the only ones that could maintain it. Well, today that's not true. Software is a race to the bottom right now. I know in past dealings, we've paid upwards of $500,000 or more for very customized ordering systems and project or ordering and kind of customer service systems. And today, I mean, it's just a fraction of that. And I think it's going to keep being driven down to the bottom. In fact, I think there's going to be a day when us as business owners look at our team's going to have a screen. They're just going to basically, the prompt is going to be, what do you want to do today? And an accountant's going to say, I need to approve a bunch of purchase orders. A project manager is going to say, I need to see the timesheets from yesterday. An estimator is going to say, I need to see the three most recent projects that are on the public tender system and we need to I need to bid them. So can you show them to me? And the system's just going to do that. So the front of your business, the interface that you use to access your data is going to become much, much simpler. So what it got me thinking about was that, for example, I have decided we're going to hire someone locally to manage aspects of our accounting that currently we put overseas. But because we're doubling in volume this year, the overseas solution doesn't really work for us because it can't scale with us. We need something a little bit more robust. And so our system, we've put a lot of automation in place. So now we kind of need someone locally that can work with our local people because we're a construction business, so we don't all work from home, and help them be more productive and take a bunch of work off of their desk. So in that regard, what I think is going to happen, I think all of us as business owners, our job is to hopefully put people and resources together, create some value in the marketplace. The marketplace compensates that for us by giving us revenue. If we've managed our costs properly, we should have some profit, so on and so forth. I think the challenge that businesses have had over time is how do you unlock the value that inherently is baked into every single person? And so in the next 90 days, as I go through putting the right people in the right jobs, doing the right things, that doesn't necessarily just mean putting warm bodies in a position to complete tasks for our business. It actually means looking at someone and saying, what's this person really, really good at? And we're a small business, so how can we give them what they need to make their life work, but then how can we help them build on top of that value? And I'll give you two quick examples. One is a bunch of months ago, we hired someone who was running their own labor company, but for a whole bunch of reasons, they couldn't sort of cash flow the opportunity, and they needed access to some capital to pay for the training and the PPE that their workers needed. So I said, why don't you come join us as a site supervisor? We'll train you, we'll teach you our software, all that sort of stuff. You can help manage our projects. You can help manage our projects with your field workers. The good ones, maybe you can help them become site supervisors with us. But your highest and best use isn't to grind out figuring out your cash flow and your safety program. Why don't you just use ours and then go build your own business and we'll help you do that. And in the course of helping you do that, we get the help we need. And that's called a win-win. Today, I'm going to be sitting with an accountant who is from outside of Canada and is currently a student trying to learn the Canadian accounting rules, the Canadian accounting principles. Really, really smart guy, super sharp, and but can't get a job. Has been out of work for 8 months because he faces the challenge of, I'm overqualified pretty much for everything, but then I don't even get considered because I'm not familiar with Canada's rules. So what I said is, I said, look, we don't need a full-time accountant. In fact, kind of things run so slick with what we do. We just need someone to watch over top of the accounting side of our business, the finance side, and make sure that the dots are connecting. And over time, our software will continue to take care of more and more of that. But how can we help you unlock some value? And I said, I can't afford you. You are overqualified, but any chance that you want to start a bookkeeping business? And he said, actually, in the fall, when my student visa expires and my work permit kicks in, I was hoping that my wife and I would be able to do some bookkeeping. And so he's coming to join our team. I hope it works out. You'll get to hear about it as life goes on. But there's an example where, as a business owner, I could have him entering purchase orders. I could have him transposing data between systems, which is normally what someone in his position would do. But instead, what we're doing is we're using really robust software to take care of the kind of the boring, non-valuable work, like moving data from one system to the other isn't valuable. A program can do that. But what is valuable is looking at that information, looking at the results for a given day or a week or a month, and helping our team get better, identifying things that maybe they couldn't see before. And so that's my hope with him. But we only need him for 10 to 20 hours a week currently, and probably less over the next 90 days as our system continues to improve and get better. And so helping him, same thing with the site supervisor, saying to him, look, why don't I go help you get a bunch of bookkeeping clients? We can be one of your first clients here in the city, and we'll give you a couple more. And then that's going to give you the opportunity to create more value for yourself. It's a win for us because we get someone who knows our business, who generally if they were local, we couldn't afford them. We didn't want them. But for you, you need to learn the Canadian tax and accounting principles. We get them as well. And so that's a win-win. And so I think as business owners, our job really is to try and understand how do we unlock the value in people. And that sounds super esoteric and like, woo, way out here. Dylan, I got like customers calling me. I got jobs going sideways. What do you mean unlock value in people? Well, if you get a minute to catch your breath, and if you're serious about trying to build a business that doesn't require you meddling with it as an owner, which is the moment I'm in right now, I need to stop meddling with our business and just let it run according to the processes we've put in place. My highest and best use is training people. So it's worth considering. It's worth thinking as a business owner. Okay, I just hire people. I expect them to do the job. If they don't do the job, I fire them and I find someone else. Okay. Well, in my industry, we're running out of people to tap on the shoulder. There aren't a million people lined up waiting to do the kind of work we do. And so we have to take what people naturally come to the table with, their raw skill sets and experience. And then our job is to take someone who's average and make them above average, take someone who's good and make them great. And that's what a business is. When you step back and think about it, I just think that most business owners aren't prepared to make that kind of investment. So if if that at all resonates with you, send me a note. Ask me any question that you want because I'm kind of working through this on my own right now. Super excited about the locally based finance person that we're going to have starting to work with our team. And when I say work with our team, that doesn't mean work through me to the team, but directly work with the team. We're going to slow our roll on the outsourcing work because on a cost basis, our outsourcing when it's paid in US dollars, you do the conversion from Canadian. We're going to pay a little bit more for someone to be working here locally in Calgary, but the fact that we get to see the whites of their eyes, they can join us in our weekly project manager meetings and then be available during the week to help kind of doesn't make sending our accounting overseas worthwhile anymore. We still do our most of our sales work overseas, so our proposal follow-ups, that sort of thing, we do that overseas, as well as someone manages our incoming public tender inbox from overseas, because that's really an exercise in going through documents, posting them into our project management system, prepping them up so that our team can decide which projects they want to bid, and they've kind of got the base load of paperwork and documentation all done. So that's what I'm thinking about today on May the 13th. Really excited to work hard in these next 90 days to dedicate a lot of time to training people and our team the way they need to be trained, so that we can have the right people in the right jobs doing the right things, and then be paying very careful attention to how we can leverage software to do that for us now that we own our own data and we can kind of do whatever we want with it in order to have it fit our business process. So if today was a stay or a go day, today for sure is a go day because I like the challenge of maybe trying to do this again in the United States and see if the lessons flow over perfectly and what some of the environmental differences or cultural differences would be as well.